Shima Luan. From rampant misogyny to questionable medical advice, we count 20 vintage ads that would never see the light of day in the modern world. Number 15. Palmolive Soap. Palmolive is a well-respected soaps and detergents company, but this short-sighted vintage ad shows they definitely don't always get it right. With a bold generalization about the sexes, the ad suggests that women need not bother with being clever. Cleverness won't help them fulfill their ambition in life, winning a man's affections. According to the ad, men back then didn't care about cleverness. They were only interested in women who were pretty. So buy Palmolive beauty products, ladies, and lock down your very own douchebag. Number 14. Tibet's clothing. The Bible tells of the first man and woman on Earth, and this ad reveals how our culture's very first eating disorders came to be. Is your daughter on the plump side? Well, slap that Twinkie out of her hand because she can look as pretty as her slim friends. Hey, I'm just reading what the ad says. Tibet's makes fashion for plump girls, as the ad so delicately puts it. Their garments have slenderizing magic that are cleverly designed to minimize extra pounds. The slogan, which was no doubt conceptualized by a boardroom full of out-of-touch old men, promises that young girls can have a tummy and still look yummy. Number 13. Cocaine toothache drops. Do you suffer from debilitating toothaches? Nowadays, you can Google your symptoms, which, after half an hour of false cancer diagnoses, usually leads to the most obvious conclusion: you need to visit your dentist. But people in the 1950s didn't have smartphones or search engines or cat videos, so they often blindly followed the advice of advertising. This ad by Lloyd Manufacturing Company recommends toothache sufferers, especially children, try a product called cocaine toothache drops. It costs only 15 cents, and according to the ad, it's an instantaneous cure. Unmentioned side effects may include dilated pupils, chattering teeth, and complete insanity. Number 12. Antel hair products. Apparently, in the 1950s, making light of suicide in newspaper advertisements was as normal as smoking cigars for breakfast. If my hair looks such a mess one more night, I'll kill myself, this ad for hair product announces, mirroring the sentiments of women all across the country. But wait, ladies, put down that noose, revolver, and vial of poison, because Antel have just the product for you. Their Formula 9 hair product will solve all your hair woes, so you can save your hilarious over-exaggerated suicide plans for a rainy day. Number 11. Sega Masturbation Innuendo. These 90s ads might explain why Sega is no longer in the console game. The first is for their groundbreaking Sega Mega Drive console. Beside a hand gripping a joystick reads the slogan, "The more you play with it, the harder it gets." I guess back then, gaming was the pursuit of pimply basement dwellers, so maybe an ad that awkwardly alludes to masturbation was a stroke of genius, pun intended. The second ad, for Sega's Game Gear handheld system, abandons all that subtlety for whatever the hell is going on here. Riffing on the old wives' tale that masturbation causes blindness, this ad promises that you can play with yourself for hours without going blind. The Game Gear will also fulfill all your wildest fantasies. As a fun bonus, there's also this portrait of marital bliss from Neo Geo. Number 10. Motorola Television. This ad by Motorola preys on the fact that most parents are useless with new technology. Is Jimmy being a total shitbag at home? Is he running around breaking things and giving you nothing but attitude? It could be all the cocaine toothache drops you've been giving him, or it could be that your home doesn't have a Motorola television in it. This scientific-looking propaganda promises that children will be better behaved and achieve better grades if they spend lots of time parked in front of the TV. If only Motorola could have seen into the future. They caused this culture of screen-addictive zombies. They're basically Skynet. Okay, everyone, let's break free of our electronic shackles. Let's forget the rest of this countdown and go outside. On 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Did you do it? Me neither. Number 9. Volkswagen. Some more casual sexism for your viewing pleasure. The 1950s were an embarrassing time for civilization, as this ad from Volkswagen proves. Women are soft and gentle, but they hit things, the ad reads. If your wife hits something in a Volkswagen, it doesn't hurt you very much because VW parts are easy to replace. As you can see, the ad perpetuates a mean-spirited stereotype about female drivers and presents it like it's a simple fact of life. Come on, 1950s wives, I know there are pretty rings, shoes, and coats in every storefront, but try to keep your eyes on the road. Number 8. Love's Baby Soft. Set your faces to stunned. Before there was Honey Boo Boo and 10-year-olds dressing like high-end prostitutes, there was this eerily inappropriate ad from cosmetic company Love. As the ad says, innocence is sexier than you think. If that's true, then don't we all look stupid? Pedophiles have been saying the same stuff for years. Gross. Number 7. Monte Ketchup. Monte Ketchup's 1953 ketchup ad played on the idea that women are too weak and helpless to open a simple bottle of ketchup. The woman in this ad seems surprised and delighted by the fact that she's managed to open this bottle. She's probably thinking about all the ways this new condiment will improve her sandwich making skills. Ugh, terrible. Antiquated ads like these need to disappear. It's equally unfunny when the shoe's on the other foot. Gender stereotypes like ditzy blondes and bumbling clueless dads need to be abolished. Number 6. Chase and Sanborn Coffee. Before 50 Shades of Grey made this sort of thing cool, Chase and Sanborn Coffee ran an ad promoting the solid family values of the time. If your husband ever finds out you're not store testing for fresher coffee, if he discovers you're still taking chances on getting flat, stale coffee, woe be unto you. The terrified expression in the woman's eyes would have inspired hundreds of women to reassess their choice of coffee. If domestic abuse was an acceptable response to flat coffee, I hate to think what hypothetical 1950s husband would do if his wifey came home with a smashed-up Volkswagen. Number 5. Drummond Sweaters, Schlitz Beer, and Kenwood Chef. These ads have been lumped together to show how prevalent sexism was in the 1950s and 60s. This ad for Drummond Sweaters wastes no time in announcing that men are better than women. It goes on to say that women are useful, even pleasant indoors, but something of a drag outdoors. Here's hoping this woman pushed these two jokers off the nearest cliff. The ad for Schlitz Beer isn't much better, with another depiction of female incompetence. This woman has obviously burnt her husband's dinner, but the man, in his supreme generosity, jokes that at least she didn't burn the beer. I guess she's lucky she's not married to the guy from the coffee ad. Finally, the ad for the Kenwood Chef boasts that it does everything but cook because that's what wives are for. Number 4. Tibet Cigarettes. This ad for Tibet cigarettes ran in the late 1960s. The product itself is some sort of cigar Q-tip hybrid with all sorts of flavored scents. Apparently, if you blow in her face, she'll follow you anywhere. Weird and lazy innuendo aside, that's just rude. You don't see female-centric ads saying, "Spit your chewing gum wads in his face, it'll drive him wild." Number 3. 7-Up. This disturbing ad for 7-Up soft drink boasts that the company has the youngest customers in the business. In the print it says that the boy depicted is 11 months old, but he isn't their youngest customer by any means. 7-Up is so pure, so wholesome, you can give it to babies and feel good about it. The sheer irresponsibility of these marketing guys makes me want to paint their widescreens in 7-Up flavored barf. Maybe they're in cahoots with healthcare providers because we all know it should read, "Nothing rots your teeth and gives you diabetes like 7-Up. Number 2. Camel Cigarettes. The first step on the agenda for this Camel cigarette ad is to win your trust. See this doctor? He's one of the busiest men in town. While his door may say hours 2 to 4, he's actually on call 24 hours a day. The doctor is a scientist, a diplomat, and a friendly, sympathetic human being all in one. So far, it reads like an ad for a medical school. Let's read on. According to a recent nationwide survey, more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Oh, there we go. Nearly 114,000 were surveyed, and the majority's favorite ticket to lung cancer was, you guessed it, Camels. The ad goes on to say you should disregard any health concerns and trust something called your T-zone, because that's your proving ground for any cigarette. The ad itself seems unsure, but it believes the T-zone stands for your throat and sense of taste. This ad ran from 1940 to 1949 and was a response to nationwide concerns that inhaling smoke every day wasn't the best thing for you. It features extreme emotional manipulation and plays on the blind trust we place in men with stethoscopes. Number 1. Fairbank Fairy Soap. This reprehensible ad from the N.K. Fairbank Company depicts a Caucasian child asking her scruffy, shoeless African-American acquaintance why her mama doesn't wash her with fairy soap. The implication being the dark-skinned character is dirty for not using this product. Obviously, this uncomfortable ad comes from a very different era, when divisions between blacks and whites were commonplace. What I do like about this ad is the little black girl looks like she wants to push the little bitch in the mud for being so rude. And you know what? Doing so would be completely justified. Thanks for listening. Bye.